Have you ever felt drained after being around someone, even when you weren't doing anything? You might be an INFJ. Empathy feels like a gift, but sometimes it's a shadow. Today, we explore the dark side of INFJ empathy. We'll look at the hidden struggles, the emotional weight, and how their compassionate hearts can sometimes hurt themselves. Stay with me as we dive deep into the mind of an INFJ. INFJs are known as the rarest personality type. They are sensitive, intuitive, and deeply empathetic. Empathy is their superpower. But with great power comes great responsibility. Often, INFJs absorb other people's emotions. They feel deeply. Sometimes, it can feel overwhelming. This is what we call the dark side of INFJ empathy. This video is for anyone who wants to understand the subtle complexities of an INFJ mind. And if you are an INFJ, this will feel very familiar. Understanding INFJ empathy. Empathy is more than understanding. For INFJs, it's feeling. They don't just listen. They absorb emotions. Joy, sadness, anger, confusion. All of it becomes theirs. Even if they didn't create it, they sense nuances that others miss. Subtle cues, body language, tone of voice. An INFJ can pick up what is left unsaid. This ability makes them great friends, counselors, and partners. But it comes at a cost. Being deeply empathetic can blur the line between self and others. They might lose themselves in other people's problems. This is where the dark side begins. They can feel drained, even when they appear calm on the outside. They may struggle with emotional overload without realizing it. Emotional drain and burnout. INFJs are like sponges. They soak up feelings around them. Happiness, excitement, pain, sadness. Eventually, the sponge becomes saturated. Emotional drain happens slowly, almost imperceptibly. They might feel exhausted after social interactions. Even small conflicts can leave them reeling. Burnout is common. It's not just mental fatigue, it's emotional depletion. Their energy diminishes. Sleep and rest may not fully restore it. Sometimes, INFJs isolate themselves. They need solitude to recharge. But the world often doesn't understand their need for space. Friends may take it personally. This tension can make INFJs feel misunderstood. It adds to the burden of their empathy. Absorbing negative emotions. INFJs have a unique sensitivity to negativity. They notice tension, sadness, and anger instantly. When someone is upset, the INFJ may feel it in their chest. It's not just sympathy. It's a shared experience. Over time, absorbing negative emotions can weigh heavily. Anxiety can build. Emotional health may suffer. INFJs may begin to carry problems that aren't theirs. They try to fix others, sometimes ignoring their own needs. This can lead to resentment, even if they don't express it. They may struggle with setting boundaries. Saying no feels wrong. They fear letting others down. But without limits, empathy becomes a heavy burden. The pressure to understand everyone. INFJs often feel a moral obligation to understand others. They want to help. They want to see the world through every lens. This can create inner pressure. They analyze every interaction, every word, every glance. Overthinking becomes common. They replay conversations, wondering if they missed something. They may feel responsible for others' happiness. This can be exhausting. Perfectionism mixes with empathy. They want to fix things they cannot control. It's a dark cycle. The desire to understand everyone becomes a source of anxiety. Sometimes, it isolates them. They feel others cannot comprehend the depth of their awareness. INFJ people-pleasing tendencies. Empathy and people-pleasing often overlap in INFJs. They want harmony. They want to be helpful. Saying no is difficult. They fear conflict. Their kindness becomes a tool, but also a trap. They overcommit. They stretch themselves thin. Emotional labor becomes heavy. They absorb criticism deeply. Even constructive feedback can feel like personal failure. Over time, people-pleasing leads to stress and burnout. It masks their true feelings. They hide exhaustion behind a calm exterior. Others may see only serenity, not the storm within. This is another aspect of the dark side of INFJ empathy. Emotional vulnerability. INFJs are highly vulnerable. Their empathy exposes them to emotional risk. They may trust too quickly. They may reveal themselves to people who cannot reciprocate. Hurt and betrayal can cut deeply. Emotional wounds last longer because they feel intensely. They replay moments, analyzing every nuance. They question themselves. Did I give too much? Did I misread the signals? The dark side of empathy here is the susceptibility to emotional pain. They absorb not only the joy and pain of others but also their own amplified feelings. Healing takes time. Supportive relationships are crucial. Without them, INFJs can feel isolated and misunderstood. INFJs and emotional boundaries. Boundaries are difficult for INFJs. Empathy pulls them in every direction. Saying no feels like rejection. They fear disappointing others. But without clear boundaries, empathy becomes draining. Learning to protect their emotional space is vital. Mindful boundaries reduce stress. Boundaries allow INFJs to help others without losing themselves. The challenge is consistency. Old habits are hard to break. Emotional boundaries are a skill, not an innate trait. It requires practice, reflection, and courage. Recognizing when to step back is essential for emotional health. INFJs and emotional manipulation. Empathy can attract manipulative people. INFJs sense needs, fears, and weaknesses easily. This makes them vulnerable to exploitation. Emotional manipulators may take advantage of their kindness. INFJs may feel guilty when they set boundaries. They fear being selfish. Over time, repeated manipulation damages trust. It can create cynicism. Learning discernment is crucial. INFJs must balance empathy with self-preservation. Recognizing toxic patterns is essential. Their empathy is a gift, but it does not obligate them to fix everyone. Protecting emotional energy is necessary to maintain well-being. INFJs and internal conflict. INFJs often face internal conflict. Their desire to help collides with their need for solitude. They want to be compassionate, yet they feel drained. They may struggle with guilt when prioritizing themselves. Overthinking intensifies internal tension. They analyze motives, emotions, and outcomes relentlessly. This internal dialogue can feel endless. It may lead to anxiety or emotional paralysis. Self-reflection is a double-edged sword. It offers insight but can amplify stress. INFJs must learn to accept imperfection. They cannot fix every problem or carry every burden. Internal conflict is part of the dark side of their empathy. Coping mechanisms for INFJs. INFJs develop coping mechanisms. Solitude is key. Alone time restores energy. Journaling helps process feelings. Creative outlets provide relief. Meditation and mindfulness cultivate inner calm. INFJs often benefit from talking to trusted friends or therapists. They need safe spaces to express emotions. Learning to say no is vital. Small boundaries reduce burnout. Practicing self-compassion strengthens resilience. They learn that empathy is sustainable when balanced with self-care. These practices help mitigate the dark side of empathy. They allow INFJs to continue helping others without losing themselves. INFJ relationships. INFJs bring depth to relationships. They listen, understand, and care deeply. Their empathy can create profound bonds. But challenges arise when boundaries are weak. They may overextend themselves emotionally. Partners must respect their need for space. Understanding the intensity of INFJ empathy is essential. Healthy relationships involve mutual respect and emotional support. INFJs thrive with partners who appreciate their depth without exploiting it. Communication is critical. Expressing needs prevents resentment. Balanced empathy strengthens love and connection. It ensures INFJs do not lose themselves in relationships. INFJ friendships. Friendships for INFJs are rare and meaningful. They seek depth over quantity. They invest heavily in understanding friends. Empathy strengthens these bonds. But overextending emotionally can strain friendships. INFJs may feel responsible for friends' problems. Setting boundaries is essential. Healthy friendships allow space and mutual support. INFJs learn to balance empathy with self-care. Friendships flourish when both sides contribute emotionally. Awareness of the dark side of empathy prevents burnout and preserves meaningful connections. INFJ and career challenges. In the workplace, INFJs bring insight and intuition. They excel in counseling, creative fields, and helping professions. Empathy allows them to understand colleagues and clients deeply, but emotional labor can be overwhelming. Office conflicts may drain them. High sensitivity makes criticism difficult. They often internalize stress. Burnout is common if boundaries are not established. INFJs thrive in environments that respect emotional needs. Work-life balance is essential. Understanding their empathetic nature helps them manage professional challenges. Careers aligned with purpose and compassion reduce the negative impact of empathy. Empathy is a double-edged sword for INFJs. It allows deep connection and understanding. They can sense hidden emotions and provide support. But it also brings emotional vulnerability and exhaustion. Awareness of this duality is key. INFJs who embrace self-care can maintain balance. They learn to channel empathy constructively. They help others while protecting their own well-being. The dark side exists, but it can be managed. Recognizing the challenges of empathy transforms it from a burden into a gift. Awareness is the first step toward balance and emotional health.